You ready? Welcome to Spin Sessions, the platform to have an open conversation, not just with the spinners, the superstars that they are, but as well as the spectators, the promoters, and the guys changing tires in the back, working hard in the sun. This is a conversation between us as a whole community, the landscape of this spinning movement, this culture that is not only exploded on the South African scene, but now is officially on the international scene. We got spinners traveling not just locally, but internationally, showcasing South African talented individuals at their best. This is Spin Sessions. And just like that, we've rolled through the week and we've come to Friday. And Friday is always a special day because that's when we freshly squeeze a brand new episode and drop on Spin Sessions. This week, I have a gentleman by the name of Dawood, otherwise known to the masses and the fans as Bokkie. What's up, Bokkie? How are you doing?
Good. And you, Vic?
I'm good. I'm very happy that you're chilling alongside me this week.
It's nice to be here.
We've got lots to talk about. We've shared various pitches and spaces for many, many years.
Yes, we have.
Straight out the bat, Bokkie, how long do you think you've been spinning for?
I think it's around about 18 years.
Wow. That's a considerable amount of experience under your belt.
Yes, it is.
Do you remember the first event you ever spun at?
Yeah, it was in Boksburg, Rege Park.
Rege Park. I remember small memories of Rege Park. I think it was a Sunday sessions.
Yes, we used to have a lot of, actually every week, Sundays, we used to spin in Rege Park, yeah.
Tell us, if you can remember a little bit about that day and the kind of the feelings and emotions that you were experiencing as a much younger person and what it meant to you to spin a car and entertain a crowd, whether the crowd was 80 people or 8 people. Like, what did it mean to you?
It was something different to driving, obviously. So it was like more controlling, more avoiding people, avoiding pavements because we used to spin in the streets.
Yeah, on the corners.
And so it was a lot of concentration, I would say, that you need to have and just, be careful you're not bumping the car or bumping anyone. But it's a very, very nice feeling till today.
If you look back 18 years ago, did you ever in your life ever think that you'd get to the point where you are now a professional paid athlete and a superstar performer, a household name among spin families? Did you ever think that was possible for you?
No, it was just for fun. We did it for fun. So we never ever thought it would be a paid sport or getting paid for doing what you're doing, breaking your car.
And how many times do you get to break a car in a year? Are you pretty consistent with maintenance?
Okay, I obviously do it myself, so I look after it. I haven't broken my car in I'll say 9 years now.
As in the motor's never broken once? Really? How many E30 bodies have you gone through in your career?
2.
You've gone through two E30 bodies?
Yes.
So only one previous to the one you have now?
Yeah. And I still got that one,
Wow.
which I wrote off at Wheels and Smoke, but I still got it.
Wheels and Smoke claims many enemies on those barriers.
Yeah.
You've been able to turn what started out as a hobby, as a sideline, Sunday session entertainment, into a huge source and an income as well as a business. Tell us a little bit about what you do from a Monday to Friday that originated from spinning.
Okay, I now have my own workshop, which I've been doing for I think it's about 12 years now.
Wow.
So yeah, that's my income. So I have 4 guys working for me, and we build spin cars, we fix cars, we specialize mostly in BMs now, but we do normal maintenance on customers' cars, family cars. So that's what we do.
And that came and was formed from gaining knowledge around spin cars.
Yes.
So it's safe to say that if a young person was looking to educate himself in skills or a trade, that you'd be able to attach yourself to someone like you as a mentor and would be able to learn valuable skills as a mechanic or as a, spin car preparation specialist.
Yes, definitely.
How many spin cars has clients asked you to build over the 12-year period you've had your workshop?
Oh, plenty. I built a lot. I would say over 30, 50.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
I built a lot, yeah. And I'm still building.
Let's dive in deeper to some technicalities. Your preferred spin motor, what is it and why?
It's a multi-valve. It came from either the E34, E36, or E46. So those, I prefer them because they're more reliable. The parts are available, and they very reliable with driving or spinning.
And I got to reiterate the same question. Your 328 multi-valve has not broken in 8 years.
Yes.
Ever.
Not. I'm not talking about motor.
Yeah.
But around it maybe yes.
Yeah,
Side shafts,
alternator, belts,
side
whatever.
shaft. No, not even.
That's an incredible accomplishment.
I promise you, you can. There's a lot of people that don't believe me, but I know for a fact.
Yeah. Ask me how many motors are broken in 16 months. Ask me.
How many?
4.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
No, that's come to multi-valve.
So I'm a V8 kind of guy. So, Bokkie, you'll remember this. My first, and it wasn't a spin car, but the first E30 with a V8 on the scene was my Smarty Box. They had a 540 built by the legendary Ahmad Oorgat in Kaapstad. And ever since I had that V8 and that E30, I'm definitely a V8 kind of guy. I have been experiencing some hardships with the Lexus V8. I had a 1UZ, then went up to a 3UZ, and I'm still clapping those bearings out of the ballpark.
Yeah, that's the same with the M20 guys. They said they'll never go multi-valve because I had multi-valve now about 12 years ago.
Okay.
I was one of the first ones that fitted a multi-valve in, and a lot of people told me, Faya.
Yeah.
He told me,
Southside Faya, bro, legend.
It's nonsense. Don't put this in. What? Till today, I'm happy.
Let's talk a little bit about the M20. So an M20 325, depending on what dynos, and guys, we can't compare everybody's dyno. Everybody's dyno is different and different correction factors. But a stockish M20 325 in capacity or 2.5 liter makes like just under or over 100 kilowatts. Not really much more than that unless playing with cams and heads. If you compare a 2.9 stroke to M20, right? Something that like Eric or Sinesh specializes in, and to a stock 328, what kind of power figures are you expecting from those motors?
There's not a big difference. The only thing is obviously you're stroking a M20, so you get a bit more torque, but your reliability is not there.
Okay.
That I know for a fact. You can't compare multi-valve. I would say let's give it a year. M20 won't last a year.
You think it will break?
Yes.
Let me ask you, which one revs better though?
M20 will rev up
Yeah.
better. It revs up faster because you're stroking it.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, we also need reliability. You can't keep on fixing a car every week or every month. After a show, you need to fix.
So Dawood, you gotta explain a little bit in layman terms in the sense of what is stroking. So if someone's not technically minded, what does stroking mean?
Okay, stroking can be a lot of things. It can be very technical. So you can do a normal M20 stroker with a multi-valve crank. Let me just mention that.
Yeah.
Yes.
3 to 8 crank,
3 to
right?
8 crank.
We're giving the secrets. Pay attention.
We put it into a M20. We change the rod. We change the piston. So we either go bigger on the stroke, the bore size, so it gives it more horses. And then obviously with that, you can also do the head. You do head cams, and it gives you more power as well, yes.
Tell us a little bit about the use of ethanol in the spinning game, because it's become popularized over the last 2 or 3 years, especially with the M20 stroker motors to, prevent the pinging.
Yeah, okay. So I get calls almost every day also with regards to ethanol. Can I put ethanol in my car to make it go faster? So no, you can't. It doesn't make your car go faster. So I learned also with experience. It's only for high compression motors. So the higher compression you go, the more ethanol you're gonna need to use. So I just built a car for a guy in Swaziland, and that thing is a beast. He actually just phoned me yesterday. He says this thing is a monster.
Wow.
So we did a 3-liter multi-valve stroker.
Oh, wow.
So we put a 3-liter crank in that one. We did the head, we did cams, we gas flowed, we did everything. It made 250 horsepower on the dyno. Yeah, it's one of the strongest multi-valves I built.
So I don't know my math so quickly, and I can't do it off the top of my head. It's like 180 something.
Yeah, 186.
That's strong,
kilowatts.
Eh?
Yeah.
Normally aspirated. So just to put you into perspective, 186 kilowatts off a 6-cylinder stroker motor. A Lexus V8 1UZ makes about 152. The stronger ones make 160. Yeah. So it's making almost 20 kilowatts more.
Yeah,
that is strong.
It's very strong. So I told him to send me a video of him spinning it. Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
Smoking those rear tires, ne?
Yeah. So yeah, that's what ethanol is, and that's what the stroker. So it's not as simple, but yeah.
There's some diehards, I won't lie to you, there's some diehard M20 Owens, and they're still spinning and they're still holding on to an M20. Like I said, I just prefer the big torque of the V8 when it's not running bearings and breaking down 4 times in 16 months. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about, we've just passed Easter weekend. It's the first time in many, many years that Kimberley did not host a spinning event, which was pretty sad for me because Kimberley Easter weekend has a very, very special place in my heart. It's been a great part of my career throughout many, many years. Bokkie, you've spun a few times Easter weekend, Kimberley.
I've been at, I think it could be like 8 or 9 shows Easter.
Tell us a little bit about the most fondest memories you have spinning in Easter.
It was getting there on a Friday and spinning in the streets in front of the club.
To be precise, we're talking about only one club. This is called Kimba Night, ne?
Yes.
Yeah, no, we did get away with some stuff. Kimberley Easter weekend in Kimberley in the days gone by was special. We definitely got away with some stuff that wouldn't be allowed anywhere else in South Africa during that Easter weekend.
Yeah, and those years we used to drive our cars. We weren't towing, no trailers, no A-frame. We used to drive them there, spin it, drive back home.
Hey, 600 Ks, basically, 550 depending which way you go. And tell us, what are some of the coolest people spinner-wise that you met, and which did you prefer? Did you prefer spinning in the OG, the box section where the double D tree was in Monster Mob Raceway, or did you prefer the bigger open space of the drift track?
No, the tree we used to,
double D tree.
Yeah, that was the best. And yeah, I met a lot of people, especially the late Emo.
Yeah, man. Rest in power.
So I met a lot of people in the spin, my whole spin years. I met a lot of people.
special moments. I just want to mention one person when it comes to Kimberley, and that's Muds.
Yeah.
You know, Muds was a phenomenal promoter of spinning in South Africa, especially in Kimberley. And I think Muds did a lot for spinning in Kimberley as a promoter. We honor you. We honor Emo. Shout out to Gary.
Yes.
You met Gary. Gary,
yeah.
Tell us about your experience with Gary, especially the car that he was spinning at the time.
The Mercedes, the big Mercedes. And obviously that time he was one of the guys that stood on the roof of it. The first guys, I think. Yeah, it was lekker.
Gary spun an old I think it was W115.
Was it 123? Oh, it's
no, it wasn't 123.
Yes,
that's a doctor's milk. It's the 115. It's the older, shorter box. And I think then he also retrofitted, possibly, if I stand to be corrected, a V8 off another 500 SEC back in the day, all Mercedes-Benz. Yeah, no, Gary was a good, solid performer. And then there's many people who can mention coming out of Kimberley, but Wani, bro, Wani 69,
Wani
man.
69, yeah.
He was a great MC, also promoter of the sport.
Yeah.
Came up with Battle of the Provinces, which was a really good platform, which should come back, in my opinion. I think it was a good competition.
I remember we also had that 3-man tag team.
Yeah.
Wani, Mr. Carls.
Mr. Calls, Mr. Calls. I remember Mr. Calls. He's a family man. He's got a great family.
Yes.
I remember that.
And I don't know if you remember the time you were at the Spin City in Kimberley.
Yeah.
When Austin started, myself, we were in the pitch.
My man, I remember Austin. I remember Austin.
At that same weekend.
So let me say this again. I remember that like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Austin was 11 years young.
Yes.
Now, you must know we're spinning. So we're spinning like, Botsotsos and 4-doors and 3-to-5s and Skoros and whatever we had at the time that we could afford.
Yeah.
My man, Austin pulls into the pitch with a black
eyes.
3-to-5 IS Kushesh. Fresh one. This is his dad's one.
Yes.
And we were just appreciating the fact there was a clean IS in the pitch.
Yeah.
And Austin being 11 years young at the time, my man, and there was a big double D tree in the center. So there was obstacles that you had to kind of be careful when you're spinning like a R1 million ride. And yeah, man, Austin was 11 years old. I remember that day and just threw it down like he owned it.
And you remember I carried Imo's daughter and put on my car.
Yeah.
We took the photos. She was also very young.
Yeah, Imo, rest in power. Imo was also one of the first athletes to be sponsored by Speed and Sound magazine.
Yeah.
I remember that. It was a Speed and Sound Army. The colors of the car were dark green with a black and yellow. Talking about good spinners. Bokkie, tell me your take about the return of the one and only Bad Company, Skopas.
Yeah. No, it's good to have him back.
Right?
It's good. It's good. I always admire that man.
There was a lot of, like when he came back, it's maybe been a month or so, and he's been building. So I've been in touch with Skopas throughout this.
Myself.
He's been out for about 4 years.
Yeah.
COVID really hurt a lot of us, especially as performers where you're making a living off performing and entertaining. So went back to Spun, which there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because as a father, husband, and a provider, you got to provide for your family, so you do what you got to do. And he's focused on that line of work, but he's been building the spin car on the side.
For some time now.
What I didn't understand was the politics and the BS that came around, like the name Bad Company.
Yeah, yeah.
So the arguments and the social media scandalous flares that were flying when he came back, it's like, oh, it's not Bad Company, it is Bad Company, it's just Skopas, what. For me, that specific E30 V8 will always be Bad Company.
Yeah.
And obviously the team players might have changed.
Yes.
You can never hold anybody back from their success. So if they're going to be their own spinners and create their own teams, by all means do so,
Oh, for sure.
But the unnecessary, aggressiveness that went along with his return was, for me, I didn't understand that.
I think also that was very unnecessary. Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
It's Bad Company, man.
Yeah.
It's the massive V8 there is.
Me and him just laughed about it. We laughed about it.
No, Skopas has been in the game for a long time. He knows how to handle the
video.
hype.
The video I posted when we were together at The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
So it was also unexpected. He came, I took a photo.
I actually shared that video. I remember that.
I put it on my status. People were phoning me and him nonstop. He says, Bokkie, see what you did.
I think you brought an extra 1,000 people to the Rock Race for that night.
Yes, that same night. People look like they came out with pajamas. I promise you. So
in their robes.
I videoed it. I went live. I think the next morning it was like 54,000
1,000
views.
views. I remember
The
sharing
next
that.
day.
When
And
you went live, I shared it. I was like, it's about time this boy's back
Yeah.
on the pitch.
and that was his first time he like spun after 4 years.
Yeah.
And I said, you getting old. The joints are not right. And so, yeah, we laughed about it. But we laughed about it. Even the next day, when that post came up, he phones me and says, see what you did. I said, man, don't worry, just enjoy, man.
It's what friendships
Yeah.
is about, bro. You
Yes.
got to encourage and,
Yes.
and build each other up. I'm super happy to have Scorpus back on the scene. I think he's a phenomenal spinner.
No, he is
Um,
a good entertainer.
The question whether he's going to be marketed as Scorpus or Bad Company doesn't really matter to me,
Doesn't.
because they one in the same in my eyes.
Yes.
It's just good to have them back. Solid movement. You spun at various events in and around South Africa as well as our neighboring countries. Let's talk a little bit about spinning from an outside South Africa point of view. What is the furthest you've traveled in our neighboring country to go put on a show?
Last year, I think it's October or so, I went to Zambia. It's 2,200 Ks.
Geez, how long did it take you
It's
to do
Lusaka,
that?
actually.
Wow.
I drove 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's one way, 2,200 Ks.
So you stopped over twice at
Yes.
accommodation. Jeez,
Yeah,
that's
slept
some
over.
dedication.
But it was nice. It was a very good experience. Broke some trailer wheels, some breakdowns, but it was nice. It was lekker.
You got there safe, you came back
Yes,
safe. Tell
yes.
us a little bit about spinning in Lusaka and the spinning movement and people that are spinning there.
It's growing. It's growing. There's very, very nice people I met also there. So I know they're just battling with venues, but they are.
Like we did.
Yes. But it's nice, very nice. I enjoyed myself.
And what kind of cars are they spinning there? Are they also sticking
Mostly
to E30s?
E36s.
Okay.
They got there's one car that I loved it. So it's a bit of the box shape, a bit of a Camry, a bit of. If you look at that car, you'll get confused. But I'll send you a photo of it.
What do you know what it's called? Is it a Sora, Toyota Sora or something?
I'm not sure of the name, but it's got a Lexus V8 in there.
From
Katra even
factory?
spun it.
From factory?
No.
Oh,
I think
okay.
they fitted it.
Okay.
But it was
I see
funny.
you smiling. You're enjoying it there.
Yeah, it was. I say I'll have one of those. And he said there's like 2 or 3 there. There's not much of them.
Oh, we definitely got to find out
Yeah.
what car that was. So in Mozambique, when we do events there, a lot of obviously African countries have access to import cars because
Yes.
they don't have their own industries producing. And what's popular is a Toyota, like a Toyota Sora, the Lexus IS250, a lot of JDM Jap cars being turned into spin boxes because they don't have as many E30s as South Africa has. So it's different it's cool to see different landscapes and different cars breaking into the spin circles. It's really, really cool for me. Let's talk about a little bit of Red Bull Shire Motor. What did you think of that final round?
Okay, me personally, in spinning, I don't like competitions
Sure.
because I always said it. Spinning is an entertaining sport. It's
Yeah.
not a competitive sport, but obviously people do want to compete. So I think it just divides people also, man, when it
Okay.
comes to competitions in spinning. Because spinning was only entertaining. We
Yeah,
never,
it's always, yeah.
yeah. I understand they want to say, okay, choose like different people to do target slides and this and that. But end of the day, I know it became a fight. It is a fight still, but
those interwebs are still blazing.
yeah, I just don't entertain that. I know spinning just for fun. That's it.
Let's explore that question a little bit more. So, do you feel going forward that spinning should only be a theater or a performance from that point of view and non-competitive in any way or form?
Yeah, I would say just entertaining because spinning has always been entertaining. You can't compete with me jumping out of a car and you sitting in the car.
Mhm.
So how are you gonna judge that?
Sure.
There's some guys in Red Bull they weren't doing stunts.
Yeah.
So are you judging that as well? You understand? So that's why I just don't get into it. There's a lot.
Reserving his comments quite professionally.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot you can talk about competitions in spinning, but it'll never power stunts, stuff like that. Now it's target slides, it's rollbacks, and no, I'm fine.
Let's talk a little bit about your own team. You've expanded to having more members. Traditionally, when I remember Team Bokkie, it would only be you and a stuntman. Now when you go out to events like this past Sunday at Wheels and Smoke, there's a lot more team members, taking part. Tell us a little bit about that expansion in your Team Bokkie.
Okay, it's more like see, because like I mentioned now, doing stunts and so on. So I put gadgets in my car where we jump out and just have fun. So we get like a certain guy want to do a suicide, lay on the side, one that side. So it's it's just like I said, just having fun. So it's all about fun. You go, you jump, you do. I mean, there's so many other guys that like jumped in my car and spun my car while we're doing stunts, and we just carry on doing it and having fun.
It looks spectacular.
Yeah.
And before I let you go, my most important question of this little conversation: why did you start spinning?
Okay. Obviously, it was like tradition in Rigo Park. So I still got my tears. I came with it here. So I used to drive there and go watch every Sunday. So it was tradition. One day I went to Mayhem with my tears, two friends, and a cooler box. We went to Mayhem, and I was standing there like on a grandstands.
I just got to pause you. You're standing there without a T-shirt with a glass by the
Then it
grandstands.
was still fine. So you mentioned the IS 250. I always told myself that's my dream car. And the guy was drifting that thing and he bumped right here with me.
Oh,
A silver one around the track.
His name was Spanner.
Was it him?
Yeah.
Oh, I know Spanner, tall white guy.
I think it was him who was spinning that.
Right there. And I said, I need to get myself a car and spin. That's how I started. Well, I didn't start. It took me quite a while because I was earning very little money while working. And I saved, managed to get some. And two of my friends clubbed in with me. And I said, let's buy one. We managed to get one. That's the first car I got still at home that I bumped. And we went three ways. And then the two of them didn't want to carry on with the sport. I paid them out and I carried on.
How has spinning changed your life? Because you obviously were holding a normal 9-to-5 job. How did it change your life?
Hey, it made a big change because now everything, whatever you must do, even now when the wifey says we need to go, I said, but I'm spinning. So so it's what you need to work it in. It's work, it's spinning, it's family.
It's your life.
Yeah. It's
24/7.
Yeah, it's part of, I'm used to it now. Sometimes we just talk about it and move on. Like this weekend is Numbigate. I actually only told her yesterday. And she says, oh,
Yeah.
now. And we're fasting, so she can't go.
Eesh.
So I'm going with the guys.
Give me your top three spinners straight off the bat. Who do you think are your top three? And in no particular order, in saying not the first, second, third best. Just who are some of your top three spinners right now, currently in the South African spin scene?
I'd say Katra, Sam, and Austin.
Nice.
Actually, I mean, just correct that one, Panjaro. Hey, that light is good. I promise you.
You know, the young ones keep coming up in this conversation when I ask this question of Panjaro as well as Mano, Muzi.
Yes.
You know, young brothers that have great older brothers and mentors in their life. They bring up the game.
And obviously, I'd say better opportunities, like having cars available to practice and venues to practice. Because a lot of people don't have that.
Just diving a little deeper about mentorship. Those older brothers have been mentors to the younger brothers. How do you feel about you being a mentor to the community that you come from and represent?
I do. I did mentor a few people already, and they're spinning till today.
How important do you feel having a positive mentor in a young person's life is?
It's very important. It's very important. You need to teach them the right
path.
Yes.
And just like that, we wrap up another epic spin session conversation with a legend in the game for over 18 years and still creating epic performances every single weekend, no matter what pitch he's at. Dawood David, otherwise known as Bokkie to me, thank you for your time and energy, and thank you for your contribution to our culture, our spin industry, and this movement we hold so dearly to our lives.